Hello, and welcome back to Fluent English Journey. My name is Ava, and I'm here to guide you on your journey to clear, confident, and natural English. If you're new here, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss a lesson. Your support truly helps this channel grow. All right, take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin today's session. I want you to imagine something for a moment. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing that your English is not where you want it to be. You can read books, you can write a little, but when it comes to speaking, your mind goes blank. Or maybe you understand most of what people say, but you can't respond fast enough. You feel frustrated, almost stuck, like a runner who has run miles but is still far from the finish line. I know that feeling because I have been there too. And the truth is, the only way to get better is to do the hard things first. Most people want to take the easy path. They hope that watching movies or listening to songs will magically improve their English. And yes, it helps a little. But if you want real improvement, if you want to speak English naturally, without thinking, without hesitation, you must step out of your comfort zone. You must confront the challenge head-on. Let's start with the first uncomfortable truth. Speaking is like exercising a muscle. If you never lift heavy weights, your muscles won't grow. If you never speak English, your brain won't form the pathways to make English flow naturally. And here's the hard part. Practicing speaking alone is uncomfortable. You make mistakes. You feel embarrassed. You stutter. You pause. Your mind races for words, and it feels hard. That's exactly why it works. Think about this. Have you ever tried speaking about something you don't fully understand in English? Maybe you tried to explain your day to a friend or describe an idea in class. You stumble, you fumble, you search for words. At that moment, your brain is stretching. It is learning. Every small struggle builds the mental muscle that allows fluent, confident English to emerge. Now, here's a question I want you to ask yourself. What is the one English skill you avoid because it is difficult? Maybe it is speaking with native speakers. Maybe it is giving an opinion in a conversation. Maybe it is reading out loud. Whatever it is, that is the skill you need to tackle first. Not tomorrow. Not next week. Today. I remember the first time I tried this myself. I was terrified to speak in English with someone I didn't know. My voice shook. I made mistakes. I forgot words. But after I forced myself to do it anyway, I noticed something incredible. The fear started to shrink. The mistakes became smaller. And slowly, my brain learned the natural rhythm of English. This is the power of doing hard things first. In this video, we will explore exactly how to do this in practical steps. We will start with small exercises you can do alone and slowly move to bigger challenges with other people. You will learn how to stop fearing mistakes and start seeing them as stepping stones. By the end of this journey, you will understand why your brain loves challenges and how to use them to make English speaking easier, faster, and natural. But first, let's understand why doing the hard things first works so well. Our brains are wired to seek comfort. When we practice something easy, we get a small reward and feel good. But the reward is small. Growth is small. When we do the hard things, the initial discomfort triggers our brain to adapt. We build real skills. The struggle itself is the fuel. Here is a simple example. Imagine learning a new English word. You can either memorize it by reading it silently or use it in a full sentence out loud in a real conversation. The first method is easy, but you might forget it tomorrow. The second method is harder, but your brain remembers it longer because it is active, it is engaged, and you make mistakes that help you correct and improve. This is the magic of doing hard things first. So, let's take a deep breath. I want you to promise yourself that you will do one small, hard thing today in English. Speak one sentence, record your voice, or try explaining something difficult. And every time you feel fear or hesitation, remember, this is the moment your English is growing. In the next section, we will explore practical exercises to train your brain and mouth together so that speaking English becomes automatic. We will look at simple habits you can use every day that take just a few minutes but make a huge difference. Have you ever noticed how small things done every day can create huge changes? Think about brushing your teeth or exercising. You don't see results immediately, but after weeks, your teeth feel cleaner, your body feels stronger. Learning English works the same way. The secret is to take small, consistent actions every day and yes, to do the hard things first. Let's start with a simple exercise you can do right now. Take a short paragraph from a book, an article, or even your favorite story. Read it slowly aloud, word by word. Don't rush. Listen to the way your mouth moves. Pay attention to every sound. This is not just reading, it is training your brain and mouth together. Your eyes see the words, your brain processes them, and your mouth practices producing the sounds. It feels strange at first. Maybe your tongue gets tired. Maybe you mispronounce words. That's perfect. Every small mistake is a step forward. Now, let's make it harder. After reading, try to summarize the paragraph in your own words. Speak it aloud. Don't worry about making it perfect. The first time you do this, it will feel slow, awkward, maybe even uncomfortable. But here is the beauty of it. Your brain is learning how to form sentences naturally, without relying on memorized scripts. This is exactly the kind of challenge that makes English speaking easier over time. Here is another exercise. Every day, pick one new word or phrase. Don't just memorize it, use it. Make a sentence with it, speak it out loud, and try to use it in a short conversation if possible. Maybe you say it to yourself in the mirror. Maybe you send a voice message to a friend. It feels small, but these small, intentional actions create strong pathways in your brain. And over weeks, these pathways turn into fluent speaking habits. Let me share a story. A student I worked with hated speaking English because she was afraid of mistakes. I told her to do something small every day, record a 1-minute voice message about her day. The first few days, she stuttered, paused, and forgot words. But she kept going. 1 week later, she felt more confident. 2 weeks later, her sentences flowed more naturally. 1 month later, she started speaking with native speakers without fear. All of this began with just one small, hard action every day. Here's the key point. Consistency matters more than perfection. You don't have to speak perfectly. You don't have to know every word. You just have to take action every day on the things that feel hardest. This is the principle of doing the hard things first. The actions may be small, but their impact compounds over time. Another important habit is listening actively. Don't just play English audio in the background. Listen carefully. Repeat after the speaker. Try to match the tone, the rhythm, and the pauses. Ask yourself, how would I say this in my own words? This is not passive learning. It is active, hard work, and it trains your brain to understand and produce English naturally. Finally, combine speaking and listening. Record yourself speaking, then listen carefully. Compare your recording to native speakers. Notice where your words are different. Correct yourself. Repeat. This process might feel slow and frustrating at first. But over time, your brain adjusts, your mouth learns the rhythm of English, and speaking becomes easier. By now, you might be thinking, this is a lot. How can I keep up? The answer is simple. Start small. 1 paragraph. 1 sentence. 1 word. 1 minute of recording. Do it every day, even when it feels uncomfortable. Every day you do this, you are doing the hard thing first. And every day, your English grows. In the next section, we will tackle an even bigger challenge, speaking English with other people. This is where fear and hesitation are strongest, but also where the biggest breakthroughs happen. We will explore strategies to speak naturally, confidently, and without fear of mistakes. Imagine this. You are sitting in a room with other people who speak English fluently. Maybe it's a class, a meeting, or even a casual chat online. Your heart starts beating faster. Your palms feel sweaty. You feel a tight knot in your stomach. Suddenly, all the English you know seems to disappear. This is fear, and it is completely normal. Every English learner faces it. The question is, will you let it stop you, or will you face it? Let's be honest. Speaking with other people is harder than speaking alone. When you speak alone, you can pause, think, and even correct yourself. But in a real conversation, you must respond immediately. That is exactly why doing it is so important. The discomfort is the exercise. The struggle is the growth. Here's a simple truth. Nobody expects you to be perfect. Not teachers, not classmates, not friends. The moment you accept that mistakes are okay, the pressure starts to fade. You start to focus on communicating, not on being flawless. And guess what? People respond to effort, not perfection. When you try, they appreciate it. When you engage, they encourage you. Let's start small. Begin with short conversations. Ask a simple question like, "How was your day?" or "What do you like to eat?" Listen carefully to the response. Repeat key words in your mind. Then respond naturally, even if your sentence is simple. Don't overthink grammar or vocabulary. The goal is to speak, to practice forming sentences in real time. One strategy that works wonders is shadowing. Listen to someone speaking English, then repeat exactly what they say in real time. Try to match their speed, tone, and rhythm. This is a kind of conversation practice you can do alone, but it prepares you for real interaction. Your brain learns the flow of English, and when a real conversation happens, you are already trained to respond naturally. Now, let's take it a step further. Find a language partner, a friend, or even an online community. Start with 1-minute conversations. Ask simple questions. Answer slowly. It is okay to pause. It is okay to repeat yourself. Every conversation, no matter how short, is a victory. And every victory makes the next one easier. Here's a story to inspire you. A student of mine was terrified of speaking English with strangers. We started with 1-minute conversations online. She made many mistakes. She forgot words, paused awkwardly, and even laughed nervously. But she kept going. After 2 weeks, she could speak for 5 minutes confidently. After a month, she joined group conversations and shared her ideas clearly. She did this by taking small, hard steps consistently. Another powerful tip is preparation. Before a conversation, think about topics you might discuss. Prepare a few sentences or questions. This does not mean memorizing a script. It means giving your brain a scaffold so it can focus on speaking instead of searching for words. And when you use these sentences in conversation, you learn to adapt and respond naturally without fear. Remember this. The first step is always the hardest. Speaking English with people may feel terrifying at first. Your voice might shake. You might forget words. You might feel embarrassed. That is the point. Each small action, each uncomfortable moment, strengthens your confidence and skill. Each time you speak, your fear becomes smaller and your English becomes stronger. Finally, reflect after each conversation. Think, what went well? What could I improve? Did I use any new words? Did I speak more smoothly than last time? Reflection turns every experience into a lesson, and lessons are the key to transformation. By now, you should see the pattern. Start small. Face the hard thing first. Speak even if it's uncomfortable. Listen carefully. Reflect. And repeat. This cycle is what transforms your English from hesitant and slow into natural, confident, and fluent. In the next section, we will explore how to make English thinking automatic, so you stop translating in your head and start speaking effortlessly. This is where fluency truly begins. Imagine trying to run a race while carrying a backpack full of rocks. Every step feels heavier. You move slower. You get tired quickly. This is exactly what happens when you always translate from your native language into English in your head. Your brain carries the extra weight of translation, and your speaking becomes slow, hesitant, and unnatural. To speak fluently, you need to stop translating. You need to think in English. Now, this sounds difficult, and it is. But here's the good news. Your brain can learn it. Just like learning to ride a bike, it takes practice and repetition. The first step is small. Start with simple thoughts. Describe what you see, feel, or do, aloud or in your mind in English. For example, if you see a cat walking, say to yourself, "The cat is walking slowly. Its tail is moving. It looks calm." You don't have to make it perfect. You just have to think in English. The next step is to narrate your daily life. When you wake up, talk to yourself. I am brushing my teeth. I am washing my face. I am making coffee. This may feel strange at first, but it trains your brain to associate thoughts directly with English words, bypassing translation. Every small sentence builds fluency. Slowly, your mind learns to form English sentences automatically. Here's another powerful exercise: question and answer practice. Ask yourself a question in English, then answer it aloud. For example, what did I eat yesterday? Then respond in English. I ate rice and vegetables. It was tasty. I felt full and happy. Keep it simple. The goal is to practice thinking and speaking in English at the same time. This reduces hesitation and builds confidence. A common mistake learners make is worrying about grammar. Don't. Focus on communicating your ideas first. Grammar will improve naturally as your brain gets used to English structures. The priority is fluency, not perfection. Every time you speak without translating, you strengthen the connection between thought and speech. Here's a story. One of my students spent years translating everything in his head. His speaking was slow, and he often froze mid-sentence. I told him to start small. Narrate his day in English for 5 minutes every morning. At first, it was awkward. He made mistakes. He forgot words. But after 2 weeks, he noticed a change. He stopped thinking in his native language for small sentences. His speaking speed increased. His confidence grew. After a month, he could express his thoughts in English more naturally, without hesitation. All because he practiced thinking in English first. Another tip is to create mental scenarios. Imagine yourself in different situations, ordering food in a restaurant, asking for directions, explaining your hobby to a friend. Think in English. I want to order a sandwich. I like it with cheese and tomato. Can I have water too? These exercises prepare your brain to respond automatically when real conversations happen. It is also helpful to combine listening with thinking. Listen to English audio, then pause and describe what you heard in your own words. Try to do it without translating. This strengthens your comprehension and speaking simultaneously. Over time, your brain will learn to process English directly, reducing hesitation and increasing fluency. Remember, the key to thinking in English is consistency. 5 minutes a day is better than 1 hour once a week. Speak to yourself. Narrate your life. Ask and answer questions. Imagine scenarios. Each small practice trains your brain to switch from translation to direct thinking. Each step makes speaking feel lighter, faster, and more natural. By now, you understand that fluency is not about perfection. It's about creating habits, training your brain, and facing challenges every day. In the next section, we will explore how to expand your vocabulary naturally and use it confidently in conversation without memorization or stress. This is where your English begins to grow richer and more expressive. Think about this. You can memorize hundreds of English words, but if you never use them, they are like books on a shelf you never open. They exist, but they don't help you speak. The goal is not just to know words, it's to use them naturally in real life when you need them. That is how vocabulary becomes powerful. The first step is to focus on active words, words you can use every day. Forget rare, complicated words for now. Concentrate on simple, common words that describe your life, your feelings, your thoughts. For example, happy, tired, excited, confused, today, yesterday, important, easy, difficult. These words are small, but they're the building blocks of real conversation. Here is a practical exercise. Every day, pick 3 words. Don't just memorize them. Speak them. Make sentences with them. Use them in questions. For example, if your words are excited, difficult, tomorrow, you could say, I am excited about tomorrow. Tomorrow is a difficult day for work. I hope it goes well. Say it aloud. Record yourself. Listen and repeat. This small habit makes a huge difference over time. Another technique is to learn phrases, not just single words. English is full of patterns. Instead of memorizing happy, learn I am happy, it makes me happy, or are you happy? This way, when you speak, you already have ready-made sentences. It reduces hesitation and makes your speech sound natural. Let me share a story. One of my students wanted to speak more confidently, but he didn't know how to start. I told him to focus on small, useful phrases he could use every day. Each morning, he practiced 3 phrases out loud. Each evening, he used them in short conversations online. After 2 weeks, his English improved noticeably. He could express himself in more ways. His confidence grew because he had words ready in his brain to use naturally. Here's another tip: connect words to your feelings and experiences. Your brain remembers things better when they are meaningful. For example, instead of learning delicious abstractly, try saying, this food is delicious. I like it. Every time you connect a word to a personal experience, it becomes active vocabulary, not passive memorization. Also, don't fear repetition. It might feel boring, but repeating words and phrases aloud builds muscle memory for speaking. Just like athletes practice the same movement thousands of times, your mouth and brain need repetition to make words flow naturally. Another simple exercise is storytelling. Take a short story or even a memory from your day. Try to retell it in English using your new words and phrases. You don't need perfect grammar. Just focus on expressing your thoughts clearly. The more you tell stories, the easier it becomes to recall words automatically during real conversations. Finally, embrace mistakes. Sometimes you will forget words, misuse phrases, or say something awkward. That's okay. Each mistake is feedback. Your brain notices it and adjusts. Every error is part of learning. The key is to keep using words actively, even if you make mistakes. By now, you can see the pattern: small, daily actions, active usage, and meaningful practice. These are the habits that build strong, usable vocabulary. Over time, your English will feel richer, more expressive, and more natural. In the next section, we will focus on how to maintain consistency and stay motivated, even when progress feels slow. We'll explore strategies that make daily practice feel easy, natural, and even enjoyable, so your English continues to improve steadily. Have you ever started learning English with energy and excitement, only to lose motivation after a few days or weeks? This is one of the most common challenges for learners. The key to fluency is not talent, it's consistency. Small actions done every day add up to big results over time. But how do you stay consistent, especially when progress feels slow or the work feels hard? The first step is to create tiny daily habits. You don't need hours of study. Even 5 or 10 minutes of focused practice can make a huge difference if you do it every day. For example, narrating your morning routine in English, recording one short voice message, or practicing 3 new phrases. These are tiny habits that, over weeks and months, create massive growth. Here's a tip. Tie English practice to something you already do every day. For example, when you drink coffee in the morning, speak aloud about what you are doing. When you take a walk, describe what you see in English. When you brush your teeth, describe your actions and feelings in English. By attaching practice to daily routines, you make learning natural and automatic. Another powerful strategy is to track your progress. Keep a notebook or a voice recording diary. Write down new words, phrases, or sentences you've practiced. Listen to your older recordings once a week. You will notice improvement, even if it feels slow in the moment. Seeing progress is motivating. It reminds you that your hard work is paying off. Motivation often dips because learners focus on perfection instead of action. Remember, English is a skill, not a test. You are not trying to be perfect. You are trying to communicate. Accept mistakes as part of the process. Every mispronounced word, every awkward sentence, every pause is a signal that your brain is learning and adjusting. Celebrate these moments. They mean growth. Here is a simple mental trick. Tell yourself, I will do a little today, even if it is not perfect. This removes pressure and keeps you moving forward. Consistency beats intensity. 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a week. The small steps, repeated daily, are what make English stick. Another helpful habit is variety. Mix different types of practice: listening, speaking, shadowing, narrating, and vocabulary exercises. Variety keeps your brain engaged and prevents boredom. It also trains different skills simultaneously, so your listening, speaking, and thinking improve together. Let's not forget accountability. Find a friend, a teacher, or an online group to practice with. Share your progress. Even a small commitment to someone else makes you more likely to continue. Humans naturally respond to accountability, and this can turn a struggle into a fun challenge. Finally, reflect regularly. Once a week, ask yourself, what went well? What was difficult? What new words did I use? What sentences flowed naturally? Reflection turns every small action into learning. It strengthens habits and ensures your practice is purposeful, not just mechanical. Consistency is not about motivation. It's about building systems that make learning automatic. When you combine tiny daily habits, variety, reflection, and accountability, English stops being a struggle and becomes a natural part of your life. You don't need to force yourself. You simply need to show up every day and do the small, hard things first. In the next section, we will explore how to deal with plateaus and keep improving when it feels like you are stuck. You'll learn strategies to break through stagnation and keep your English growing continuously. Have you ever practiced English every day, followed all the rules, and still felt like you were stuck? You can speak, you can listen, you know words, but your progress seems to stop. This is called a plateau, and every learner experiences it. The good news is, plateaus are normal and they can be overcome. The key is to approach them strategically. First, understand why plateaus happen. Your brain has adapted to your current level. The exercises you did before are no longer challenging enough. Growth requires discomfort. If every practice feels easy, your brain is not learning anything new. This is where doing the hard things first becomes critical. You need to push your boundaries. One strategy is to slightly increase the difficulty of your practice. If you are narrating simple sentences, try describing more complex ideas. If you are practicing short conversations, try longer discussions or more abstract topics. If you are learning phrases, start creating your own sentences and stories. Small increases in difficulty force your brain to adapt, and that adaptation leads to improvement. Another effective method is imitation. Listen carefully to fluent English speakers, podcasts, videos, interviews, and try to imitate their rhythm, intonation, and expression. Speak aloud, record yourself, and compare. Shadowing in this way trains your brain to think and speak in real English patterns, not your native language. It also introduces vocabulary and expressions naturally, which accelerates growth. Variety is also important. Plateaus often happen because your practice becomes repetitive. Change your routine. Try new topics, new conversation partners, or different listening materials. Challenge yourself in unfamiliar areas. When your brain encounters novelty, it is forced to adapt, and that triggers new growth. Self-reflection is another powerful tool. Ask yourself, what do I struggle with most? Pronunciation? Grammar? Thinking in English? Choose one area to focus on intensely for a short period. This focused effort can break through stagnation faster than scattered practice. For example, if your pronunciation feels slow, spend a week shadowing short sentences, repeating sounds, and listening carefully. Small, targeted effort makes a huge difference. Let me share a story. One of my students had been practicing English for 6 months and felt stuck. He could speak, but slowly and with pauses. We introduced shadowing with his favorite TV series. He copied phrases, expressions, and tone daily. At first, it was hard. He stumbled and felt frustrated. But after a couple of weeks, he noticed a change. His sentences flowed faster, his pronunciation improved, and he could express ideas more confidently. That breakthrough came from stepping up the challenge and introducing variety. Another way to break a plateau is to teach English to yourself or to others. Explain new words, narrate a story, or describe a process as if you are teaching. Teaching forces you to organize your thoughts, use vocabulary actively, and think in English, all of which break stagnation and improve fluency. Finally, patience is critical. Plateaus are temporary. They feel frustrating because progress is less visible, but your brain is still learning in the background. Trust the process. Keep doing the hard things first. Keep practicing, reflecting, and challenging yourself. Every small action compounds over time. By now, you should understand that growth in English is not linear. There will be fast progress, slow periods, and even plateaus. The key is to face challenges, increase difficulty, introduce variety, reflect, and stay consistent. These strategies will ensure continuous improvement, even when it feels like nothing is changing. In the next and final section, we will focus on mastering fluency and creating a lifelong English journey, where speaking, listening, thinking, and learning English becomes a natural, effortless part of your life. Imagine a day when you wake up and English feels natural. You speak without hesitation. You understand conversations easily. You express your thoughts freely, just like you do in your native language. This is not a dream. It is possible. And it happens for everyone who commits to the process we've discussed, doing the hard things first, building small daily habits, thinking in English, actively using vocabulary, facing fear, breaking plateaus, and staying consistent. Fluency is not about perfection. It is about confidence, clarity, and flow. It is about speaking so naturally that English becomes part of your thinking, part of your daily life, and part of your identity. The final step to mastering fluency is to integrate English fully into your world. Use it in work, in hobbies, in conversations with friends, online communities, or even with yourself. Make English a tool, not a task. Let's talk about mindset. The most successful English learners see every moment as practice. Waiting in line? Narrate what you see. Walking in the park? Describe the scenery in English. Cooking dinner? Explain your steps in English aloud. These small actions are not extra work, they're the continuation of your journey. Fluency grows when English becomes natural, automatic, and enjoyable. Another crucial habit is reflection. Regularly look back at your progress. Listen to recordings from a month ago. Read notes you wrote in the past. Celebrate improvements. Notice how mistakes are now smaller, how sentences flow more easily, and how your confidence has grown. Reflection reinforces learning, strengthens habits, and fuels motivation for the next stage. Let's not forget curiosity. Fluent speakers are curious learners. They ask questions, explore new topics, read stories, watch videos, and listen to podcasts, not just for practice, but for genuine interest. Curiosity drives engagement, and engagement strengthens retention. The more interested you are, the faster and deeper your learning becomes. Here's a story. One of my students started speaking English timidly. She was afraid of mistakes, slow, and hesitant. Over time, she applied all the strategies we've discussed. She practiced daily, narrated her life, shadowed native speakers, and recorded herself. She faced fear and broke plateaus. After a year, she spoke naturally with confidence. She no longer thought about translating. English had become part of her life. This transformation happened because she embraced the journey and did the hard things first. The final takeaway is simple but powerful. Fluency is built, not born. There are no shortcuts, no magic tricks. Every small, hard action adds up. Every challenge you face strengthens your skill. Every mistake is a stepping stone. And every day you practice, even for a few minutes, moves you closer to natural, confident English. As you continue your journey, remember, do the hard things first, start small, stay consistent, think in English, actively use vocabulary, embrace mistakes, break plateaus, and enjoy the process. English is not just a language, it is a skill, a habit, and a way of connecting with the world. So today, take one small step. Speak one sentence aloud. Narrate one action. Learn one new phrase. Do something hard that stretches your brain. This small action is the continuation of your lifelong journey. And if you keep showing up, day after day, you will reach a point where English feels effortless, natural, and part of who you are. Congratulations! You have learned the principles of mastering English fluency. Now it is time to practice, live them, and continue your journey. Your English is growing with every small, hard action you take. And one day, you will look back and realize the journey you started with fear and hesitation has transformed into confidence, clarity, and natural flow. Your journey has just begun. Keep going. Keep speaking. Keep growing. Thank you so much for joining today's lesson here at Fluent English Journey. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment below telling me what you want to learn next. Your support helps the channel grow and helps me create more lessons for you. Take care, keep practicing, and I'll see you in the next class.